I want to bring the doctor, Nicole Saphier, morning to you. What are we to take from this extraordinarily high level of the former president's prostate when we got the news on Sunday?
Well, good morning, Bill and Aisha. And so, yes, just a recap, which I think everybody knows at this point, former President Biden has been diagnosed with a Gleason score 9 prostate cancer, which is more fast-acting, more aggressive. It's also been confirmed that it is metastatic, meaning stage 4. It has gone outside of the prostate gland and is now within the bones. So a late stage, highly aggressive prostate cancer. And now one of the big questions people are having is, was this miss? Did the president's medical care completely miss this? Or was this potentially withheld from the American people while he was president? And there's still a lot of questions. We don't have all of the answers, but there are some important points that we have to make. As people get older, we do stop screening for certain cancers. It's all based on life expectancy, what the current health is of the patient. So at some point, we do stop screening for prostate cancers, colon cancers, breast cancers, and other of the common cancers. However, I can tell you that former President Joe Biden, as of 2021's annual health exam, was still getting a routine colonoscopy for colon cancer screenings. He was also getting skin checks for skin cancer screenings. So he was undergoing cancer screenings, seeing as prostate cancer is the #2 most common cancer after skin cancers in men. It's highly likely that he was being screened for prostate cancer, whether it was just by checking his blood for PSA, which is a prostate-specific antigen, it's a marker in the blood, or if he was also getting a physical exam. So we don't really know. One of the questions I have is that we did recognize, and we were very critical of that administration of withholding certain pieces of information from his annual exam, specifically a cognitive evaluation. Is it possible that they were withholding his PSA levels or some symptoms that he was having? It's possible, but I can tell you that he has an aggressive, fast-acting form of prostate cancer. It could have formed in the last 6 months. It could have started forming 6 years ago. We don't have all the information.
Wow. And that was, I think, the biggest question in that briefing room was, well, number one, Caroline Leavitt answered the question about the current president, President Trump. She believes that he is getting a prostate exam during his physical. She's going to double check on that. But that is the question. Did he have the PSA? Did he have this exam? And if he did, and there wasn't anything found, could this cancer have been so aggressive that it transpired into his bones in a matter of less than a year?
Yes, so absolutely. So first of all, it is not uncommon that patients present with metastatic cancer, even if we're screening for that. Some prostate cancers aren't actually associated with a rise in PSA. So it's possible he may have had a false negative. Also, there are benign causes of a raised PSA count. So it's possible that he had a sudden uptick or a slight rise in his PSA, but they were treating more benign causes. We don't really know. There are a lot of different variables here, and they're not necessarily giving us all the details, and they're allowed that privacy right now. But I will tell you that, yes, we see patients presenting, whether it's breast cancer, prostate cancer, with highly aggressive forms of the cancer, and they can present with stage 4 illness. And that is one of the saddest things that happen. As someone who dedicates my daily life to trying to diagnose it early, I'd like to say that we are able to diagnose them all before stage 4, but that's not the reality.
Doctor, thanks for coming on.
Devastating diagnosis.
Nicole Saphier.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.